Hannah Oli, Pop Rock Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rock Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hits från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Rock Radio med Jamie Roxx.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is the Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. This is the video, if you're watching on YouTube, this is the video version of the show. We have both audio and video. So whatever floats your boat, man, whatever floats your boat. I know some people just like listening to podcasts audio-wise, and some people like to see us in our glory. It's amazing. You need to get cable if that's the case. I'm just saying there's better. I'm not even going there. Anyhow, I am so excited today. We have a fantastic guest. He's cool, turned up to 10. He was on the show back in the day when we only did the audio show, and I just thought he was phenomenal then, and nothing has changed. He's still phenomenal. Joseph Eid, all the way from LA. How you doing, Joseph?
Hello, how are you doing? I'm doing great, thanks.
Nice. Like I said, just full of talent. I'm still impressed. I was on a Joseph Eid mix the other day. You can hit it on YouTube where it'll play just like all your video. And I was sitting here working, just listening to him. And such a good storyteller, man. Folk pop is the genre. And I hear elements of other things in there as well. And it's great to listen to because I'm one of those people. I'm a painter, so I like to tell stories visually. But when I hear good music in my head, man, I am making up paintings to it. You know what I mean? I am it gets all my cylinders firing. And that's good. That's good art. That takes you places. I like that.
I'm sure that happens the other way around too. You see a good painting and then you hear music in your head.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm always jealous of all my musician friends because I'll tell you, music has some magic to it. Any guy that I know, any of my guy friends, I can ask any of them. I'll say, hey, the first time you kissed a girl or a guy, whatever the case may be, you were at a party, you were in the back of a car, something. What music was playing? And they all know it's burned into their brain. You know what I mean? They're all like, yeah, and all music has sucked since then. Some of them say that, but it doesn't.
Yes.
Great new music out.
That's why I think sometimes you hear a song, you're right, it's got these places in your mind where it can open up a whole flood of emotions. It's like a song comes on, all of a sudden you find yourself crying, you find yourself feeling all these things, and you're like, sometimes you don't even remember what kind of attachment that song has, but you're right, it gets lodged in there because it's like the soundtrack of our lives.
Absolutely. But you can do the same thing with a painting and say, what painting was hanging on the wall? Nobody's going to remember that. No, but they're just remembering that kiss and that music. You're a lot of your music. I want to play some music, folks, some new stuff, some classic Joseph Eid stuff. It's not all breakup songs and this and that, or breakup introspection or whatever I'm trying to say. It's not all that, but when you go there and it's good and it's relatable, and we've all been to that party, and it's nice because when you're at that party, it's nice to hear somebody else has been to that party too. You know what I mean? You're not the only one who's ever felt that way.
Yeah.
That's good. That
is a good thing because they start, like I was just telling someone earlier, all my songs start super specific, like a very personal feeling that is very specific to me. But as they come through, they turn into these universal concepts. And I'm always so pleased to hear that other people can connect and relate to them. Because in the end, it's like we're all made up of the same stuff. And it's like something specific to me. But then when it comes through as a song, it's all of a sudden so accessible to anyone that hears it. And that's exciting.
I listen to it and I think to myself, this guy's horrible at relationships. He must have been through a million. No, I'm kidding, folks. I'm kidding. No, it's all the same person.
It's a great coping mechanism, songwriting. It beats any other coping mechanism, that's for sure. Gets you through it all.
That's funny. I was reading an interview of a music teacher in London or somewhere in England, and her prized student was Adele, whose birthday is today, actually.
Whoa.
And
Whoa.
they're like, Adele obviously was always a great song. And the teacher was like, no, Adele was horrible at songwriting. And then she left for the summer. They got the summer off, had her first big romance and her first big breakup. And she said when she came back to school, then she was phenomenal at songwriting because she had the rock school to work from, you know? And
she lived a little bit.
I always laugh when I hear that. I always think about that when I have a friend who's going through the big hurt and, it's nothing. What am I going to do? I'm like, you're going to use that as rocket fuel and whatever it is you do, painting, music, whatever, and do it, man. You thank the stars you got that inspiration.
And then it wasn't in vain because you got something from it. You either got a painting, you got a song, or you got a lesson. And sometimes that's enough. You're like, thank you for showing that to me, showing me that about myself. If it comes out to be a song, great. That's another win too. So you gotta look at life that way, or you just get dragged down. So
yeah, it's crazy. Me and my wife were just talking about this is the kind of dinner conversations we have. We were there. She was asking me. She was like, "What's the worst?" She goes, "Break up or just break up out of left field that you've had." And because we were watching something and there was a big breakup in the show we were watching. And I said, I was dating this gal. I remember this was many decades ago. And I thought everything was great. We're doing great. We went to lunch. I was excited. And she informed me she got a dream job in Seattle and was leaving 2 days later. And she just wanted to give me a heads up. There wasn't any conversations about long distance relationships or any of it. She was just gone. That was it. And she left the restaurant, and I remember sitting there going, what the hell happened? Got everything.
No heads up, no signs, no flashing.
There probably were all kinds of signs. I'm just too dumb and inexperienced to see them at the time. Today, I'd probably see those a mile away. But when you're young,
Yeah. And
these are lessons you have to learn.
People hate confrontation and they hate really communication that might be uncomfortable. So they end up just not talking about their feelings or the problem of, and I've done this too, where you just because you're feeling something, you're thinking about it, doesn't mean the other person heard it. They have to tell them.
Yeah. And I'm one of those guys.
Yeah.
For anybody out there who fantasizes about dating me, it's going to be a lot of work. Don't leave that out of the fantasy because I'm dumb when it comes to that stuff. Very true. I mean, I won't say your mama's ugly or anything. I'm smart enough to not do that, but I'm still thinking it. That might still come through in my expression. I'm kidding. Joseph, you've got an interesting background too. I did not know this when you were on the show before.
Yeah.
As a lad, you were raised in West Africa?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. When did you guys move over to the States?
When I was 11, and I try to keep my age a little mysterious, so I won't tell you exactly when that was. But yeah, and then became an American shortly after that, and it was a wonderful journey. Living abroad makes you really appreciate a lot of things about our country and about just the world. It makes you really see things differently. And I think it's added a lot to how I write and how I see the world and my perspective. And my advice to people is living somewhere else is important. It opens your heart and compassion. So yeah, that's definitely
there's
a part
a lot
of the story.
commonality that I think we have as human beings on this planet that people don't really, especially these days, things get really polarized and people talk out of their backsides a lot. These people and blah, blah, blah. And these immigrants. And I'm like, yeah, these refugees, wherever they're leaving must have been pretty crappy. They got to go through all that to get here. And now they got to listen to you.
Yeah. And the funny
who
thing
would
about
sign up for that?
The funny thing about all that is everybody who's here was a immigrant.
Yeah.
At some point, except for the Native Americans. So it's,
Unless
hey
your
guys,
name's Running Deer or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
shut the
like,
hell up.
your grandfather was that person too, or their father was, or their father, or their mother. I always find that so interesting that people that are not understanding about new
Absolutely.
immigrants. It's guys, come on. That's what this country, that's who built, that's what this country's built.
Absolutely. I used
So
to
yeah,
see that on social media a lot. I've since weeded all the. I block people on social media like Neo dodges bullets in the Matrix. So I have no problem. Somebody will say something stupid. I'm like, I don't need to hear his next sentence. Block. But I used to see that. I would see somebody with the last name of O'Leary or something bitching about immigrants, and I'm going, really?
right.
You're some nice Italian boy or something on there. I'm like, didn't
Yeah.
you ever see The Godfather 2? That was
Right.
100 years ago. That's where.
Yeah, there was a time when Italians and Irish were also like looked down upon, and people.
They weren't white all the time.
Right. So it's a very, yeah, the world is an interesting place, and that which we are afraid of in ourselves, or we end up displacing on others, and that's what you're seeing a lot of now.
Absolutely. I remember many years ago when I was a kid, I lived Metro. I grew up, wasn't born there, but I grew up there, Metro Detroit. And one of the suburbs that I got an apartment with this gal, was called Dearborn, Michigan. And they had the largest Arabic population outside the Middle East. It
Right.
was, everybody was Arab.
Right.
And some of their cultural things, you'd see it. You'd see it. And I'm pretty cool. I'm an educated elite, East Coast elitist. I thought I was pretty cool.
Right.
And some of these cultural things that would happen
Yeah.
were hard for me to watch. And I'm going, oh shit, I'm not supposed to judge these people on their
Right.
culture. And I'm judging.
Right.
It was such a cool experience. It was a horrible experience, but it was a cool experience in that it made me come to the realization that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is the world's a big place and there's lots of different people in it.
Yeah.
So you better get all right with that.
Yep. I hear you,
You
man.
see it with anything.
We've all done it. We've all been there. We've all done it. And there's still, and just, it's human to see something different than you and go, uh-oh. That's a human thing. It comes from
Especially when it's
survival.
really
Yeah,
Yeah.
it comes from survival, protection, knowing your surroundings, seeing something different, alarm. But then you should have a consciousness that overrides that and goes, okay, this is a person
Yeah,
just like me. They're not harming me. They're not doing anything. Live and let live.
absolutely. It's interesting. The last thing I have experienced in that realm of weirdness, because it's weird. Come on. We're all at the watering hole trying to get a drink. It
Right.
really, the last time I saw that was in the art world here in South Florida. There was a particular artist, I won't say her name or anything, but I was supposed to be doing this group show with a bunch of people. Of course, I'm on social media. That's one of the first things I do is check people out, just run their name through, see what they've been posting. This particular artist was, I'm not saying it was a she, a slip of the tongue, everybody. They had a big problem with gay people. And I'm like, what? You're in the arts and you got a problem with gay people? That ain't going to work, man. You need to find something else to do. And as I'm scrolling through, it just this quicksand keeps getting deeper. And I'm going,
Wow.
Jesus Christ. And I watch it. And it finally got to a point where I had to call the guy who was organizing the big art show. And I'm like, I think I'm going to pass on this one.
Wow.
And he goes, you were kind of the main guy we wanted to be in the show. You were the headliner, if there really isn't a thing like that, but it's not mine. And I said, here's the thing. I said, such and such, I'm looking at at their Facebook page right now, and I'm seeing this stuff. I don't want that stink on my brand,
Right.
frankly.
Right.
And that's why I'm going to pass on this.
That's
Luck
right.
with it.
Yeah.
And I really held to my guns on that. And they wound up not being in the show. And I was. He called me back and was like, hey, things have changed. And I'm like, not a problem. How many paintings you need? But it still happens. And we live in 2026. I don't know, Joseph. I just thought we'd be closer to Star Trek by now.
Yeah,
Remember that stuff from when I was a kid, way back in the 80s? What are we doing?
It's almost, in a way, it's regressed in some ways, and we're moving forward in other ways. But also, social media and stuff like that brings out everybody. Whereas in the past, it was hidden. People, you hung out with your groups, and you weren't exposed to what everybody else in the world thought in real time at every minute. And now you're seeing it all, and you just go, okay, fine.
Yeah, and I try to keep politics as much as I can out of the show, but
yeah,
I was just telling a friend of mine, one of my best friend from high school, we were catching up, BSing on the phone the other night, and I told her, I said, what's been hard for me over the past 10 years is the illustration of what an island my point of view is. I didn't know I was surrounded by all these people that were just not good people. And I'm going, man, he believes. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind on their, everybody's grown. They can make their own ideas about that kind of stuff, in my opinion. But a lot of really smart people that I thought were real cool, all like the dad from that Twisted Sister videos. I'm like, what the hell happened? I remember when this guy had a mohawk, and now he's a redneck.
And,
I don't understand.
And it goes the other way around too, though. And I think it's important for us to. And you seem like you're this kind of person too. Like you said, people believe different things for whatever reason. And I also think I found it important not to block people or defriend people or just completely go, you're this or that, because then when you do that, you block your
input.
Yeah, you block that person possibly learning something. You block yourself from learning something. I know people from when I was younger who said some really messed up stuff, and guess what? They changed, and they're not those people anymore. And they grew out of that. They met. So it is.
You're right.
The other way around too.
You are right. You're seeing a lot of change, at least in the YouTube world. People making videos and they're like, I was wrong. I'm sorry. And people still getting rounded up off the street. You wish you would have come to this conclusion a year sooner, but I'm glad you finally got there. It's crazy, but you got to try to stay positive in it. Otherwise, we have this crazy little couple, these two gals we know. They're good friends of ours. They watch our dog. Our dog's a Shar-Pei, and she's mean to everybody in the world except me and Danny. She loves us and these two. So she loves them as well. Big puppy with them. And so when we go out of town, they're watching the house because it's the only people we know that can accomplish that. But anyway, they came over and I'm yelling at the TV. I'm watching a hockey game, like I'm my father-in-law. And they're like, what are you watching, the big game? And I'm like, no, I'm watching the news. These people are idiots. The dog's over there sitting next to me, just very upset too, because I'm upset. And they're like, Jamie, you got to limit it, man. You got 20 minutes, no more of the news. You're going to have a stroke, aneurysm or something.
It might as well be a game.
Yeah, and I'm going, geez,
you don't know what's what anymore. Yeah, so.
No.
Anywho.
But it's the great thing about art, and I always there's a couple young people I mentor, and I always tell them, I said, in art, no matter, or in music, whatever art you're talking about, there's two avenues. You're either commenting on the world or whatever, you're making a comment, an observation, or you're distracting from it. I said, that's the atomic structure. That's your choices. That's where you're going. And the great thing about good art, and both are equally important, listening to your music and being distracted from all the nonsense. You know what I mean? That not only is it a good story I can relate to, it's a good story that just takes me away from all that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
So if you're ever having problems getting out of bed in the morning, know there's one cat that's digging what you're throwing down. That's all I'm saying.
Good to know. Good to know. And
now, speaking of that, oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It does that for me too. When I write and throw myself into that, it serves as a wonderful distraction and for me as well. So it makes sense.
Good. Now we've got 4 tracks we're going to play today. And I don't know if these are in the order you wanted to play them, or we could pick. Sure. It doesn't matter. What should we go with first? We got Follow the Feeling, A Changing Man, Watch It Fall, and Listening to Madonna.
Yeah, let's start with Follow the Feeling. I like that order that you just had.
So okay, here it is, folks. This is Joseph Eid. I almost said Jason for some reason. I don't know why. Joseph Eid, Follow the Feeling. Check this out. I think you're going to dig it. I certainly do. Here it is.
When you finally moved on and you're vibing high, the dissonance is so strong when things don't feel right. And I know that you're mad at me, 'cause I can't stay, but I've spent way too long going out of my way. I'm headed down to a road where the trees grow, down to a river where the water flows. I don't wanna break your heart, but I won't break mine. I don't wanna hurt no one, but I know it's time that I follow the feeling. I gotta follow the feeling. You fight with your family, you got beef with your friends, and your list of complaints about the world never ends. But I love you deeply, and I want you to thrive. But I've learned that love sometimes means saying goodbye. So I'm headed down to a town where people smile. Lay this all down, I'm gonna rest for a while. I don't wanna break your heart, but I won't break mine. I don't wanna hurt no one, but I know it's time that I follow the feeling. I gotta follow the feeling. I'm sailing on to brighter shores, and maybe one day you'll find yours. I don't wanna break your heart, but I won't break mine. I don't wanna hurt no one, but I know it's time that I follow the feeling. I gotta follow the feeling. Gonna follow the feeling. I'm gonna follow the feeling.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. It's like we were transfixed. We didn't even move out of position while that whole video played there. It's amazing. It's so good. That's a testament. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Joseph, I love your green wall behind you. That hunter green. That is not. Years ago, I had a Jaguar car, XJ12, that same color, and it's just so good.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I know whenever you have a real estate friend come over, you have a little cocktail party or something, you should really paint that something more so the resale values ease. And you're like, this ain't getting painted. No, whoever buys this place, if I ever sell, is getting this cool wall. That wall's going to sell that place. My thought. I'm not a real estate guy. You know what I mean? But we all know one. We all know one.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of artists are doing real estate too these days. It's a great flexible
That's right. Trying to make that money.
Yep. Yep.
That's how I got my start. I was buying old mobile homes in Southern California,
Wow.
selling those on payments. Long time ago. But sure is nice having that income come in, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Independent income streams. That's the key, folks. But that's another show. Get into sometime. Anyway, that's cool. Let me ask you a question on Follow the Feeling. That's such a great track. And I can never tell. I'm not a musician, and I'm not in that world on the production side of it because I can't tell. And and the reason I think about this is because people always ask me what they're painting because everybody thinks that about a painting, and they don't know. They don't know I wanted to throw that thing in the street 4 times before I figured it out, and sometimes they come real. Most times they come real hard. Was that an easy one or was that a hard one?
This one. Yeah, no, this one actually was easy in the sense that it was one of those songs that downloaded very quickly.
Nice.
I was walking home from a long walk, and there's just line and melody came into my head. When you finally moved on, and you're vibing high, the dissonance is so strong when things don't feel right. And I was going through that very thing. I was really doing a lot of work on myself, inner work, healing, growing. And I just started to notice this specific one relationship in my life that just was like, oh man, this is now feels a lot louder than it's ever felt before. It wasn't really working before, but what's that?
Or I was that. I said, I think I dated that person or I was that person.
But we've all been on both sides, but it's funny how when you're not doing all right in life, or you're like just getting through, the things that aren't working are acceptable because everything else sucks too, or you're just not in a great place. But then when you start feeling good,
that contrast comes into
and
play.
then you go, oh my gosh, this is not going to work with this new vibration right now. So that started the song, and then quickly just everything dropped in. And then in the studio, it was for some reason with this specific one, the band just locked in right away. They just didn't really have to comp anything. It was like it just flowed. So it wasn't like we did it in a minute, and of course it is mastered and mixed by a wonderful engineer that I work with, Brian Susi. He's amazing. Great musicians on it. But it was one of those that just, like, I'm sure you've felt it with paintings, like some of them they jump out of you onto the canvas, and that's what.
And you want to celebrate because it's such a different feeling than the ones that don't.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Awesome.
Some of them don't know what they are, and you're going, "Where are you taking me? Where are you taking me? I don't even know what this song's about." But with this one, it knew what it was from that first line, and I was like, "This is what this song's about. It's about saying goodbye when something is no longer working for you, no longer serving you, and you've tried everything." And it's bringing you down, breaking your peace, so you've got to walk away to save yourself.
Absolutely. Now, this wasn't the track, I don't think. Man, one of these tracks, it had that line in it, and I'm paraphrasing. I'm probably going to mess it up. I don't want to hurt you, but I don't want to hurt me.
Oh, yeah, this is the one. I don't want to break your heart. Yeah, I don't want to break your heart, but I won't break mine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what a powerful... I have been there, man. I have been there. Yep. And it was usually with a crazy gal, so I was also worried about her going postal.
It's also like people think it's noble to stay in something that's not working, or to keep trying to help or rescue someone who just doesn't want it. And at some point you go, that's not noble. That's toxic. That's not good. You know? When you're overgiving something that's not receiving, it's actually a negative. It's short circuit. It's bad. I think people just break their own hearts, end up breaking their own hearts because they're like, I don't want to hurt you, but you're hurting the person more by staying with them. Because
and enabling that to continue.
Enabling that, exactly. Yeah.
And sometimes it's just so messed up. And I'm not saying this is all the time. I'm saying I've seen this, I've experienced this, where communication is super important in any relationship. But sometimes you hear, oh, I'm going to change and I'm going to work. And it's just nonsense. It's just not, you know what I mean? And you got to listen to that, you know? As you get older, folks, guys and girls out there, all I'm going to say is it does get a little easier because your BS detector gets a little more honed and you just learn. You're like, nah, I don't need to be doing this.
You learn, and you follow that feeling. There's two kind of feelings. There's the one that comes up when you're really heated or upset or angry or passionate, and that's one feeling. But then there's that feeling that comes up when you're quiet and you're feeling at peace and feeling good. You hear a whisper that tells you this isn't for you anymore. And it's a softer, more knowing voice, and that's the feeling that you got to listen to. It's like when you're feeling good, ask yourself what you want. Don't ask yourself what you want when you're feeling like crap, because that's not the right answer.
No, absolutely. This is good advice. This is so many. You see all these problems, people and other people going through this stuff, and and it's just I just had to have the conversation with probably listening, and I'm not going to say their name, but I just had that. I'm like, why are you messing around on your wife, dude? She wouldn't do. You've been cheated on before. You didn't like it. I remember that when that happened, and now you're doing it. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's. We will see where that. I have a pretty good idea how that's going to end. I've seen it a bunch of times, but there's also a point where you can't get involved in other people's stuff.
Especially when we're all adults. It's not like you're trying to help your child manage something. It's like you're an adult. You will have to live with whatever comes out of this.
Absolutely. And if you're an adult and you haven't learned that lesson yet, it's going to be. That's the thing about lessons of the heart and karma and all that stuff. For example, I can always look at a person in a matter of seconds, determine if they've, I'll use the term, had their backside kicked. And I'm not talking about a physical fight. It could be a physical fight. It could be the world is fighting you. You know what I mean? And I've seen people who have never had that happen. That's yet to happen on their dance card. And all that tells me is I don't want to be standing next to them when that finally does happen, because I don't want any of that on me, because it's going to be bad. The longer you wait,
then it's harder to recover. It's
like drinking.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I drank like a champ when I was young. When I was your age, Joseph, I could drink. I was like a Viking. Today, I'm like drinking tea out of a teacup. Because I can't handle. That's very true. Next up, we've got A Changing Man. Now, this is a cool video for this. I really like this video. Yeah. Where did you film this at? Topanga Canyon or something?
Close.
It's like a jungle.
It was in the LA. It's so cool that you got the jungle vibe. So there is this really cool spot in LA in the LA area. It's basically in the valley, in the forest, and it's called the LA Rainforest. Now, it's for some reason it's not the easiest place to find. I had read about it, and then I was like trying to figure out how to find it. So before we went to shoot down there, I went on a little hike to find this place, and you just go with all these twists and turns, and then you enter this area that's probably half a mile to a quarter of a mile circumference, and it has got the rainforest elements. It's got all the coverage. It feels really moist, like a rainforest. There's stream of water in it. And I'm like, that's it. This is really cool, because I didn't want it to feel like an LA scene. I wanted it to feel like this guy was, there's two versions of him. One of them is in the woods figuring it out, and one of them is up at the hill in his kind of more healed version. So it really worked. But yeah, it's a cool little spot.
It was phenomenal. It is so good. In fact, I actually was watching the video, which we're going to play here in a second, folks. And I thought, God dang, did they fly? Was this shot on location somewhere like Ecuador or someplace? I was thinking that.
Great. Good.
I'm not so impressed now that I know. No, I'm kidding. LA's weird like that, though.
It is.
I had a guest on the show, and he had made an independent movie, and there was a cave in it. I'm like, where did you get the cave shots at? Did you know? Is that the back lot at Universal? What? How'd you? And he's, no, man, that's just down the way. And he told me where it was.
Yeah.
And it's the same cave that in the old Batman show
Yep.
from the 60s that they used. And I'm like, that makes sense because they're making movies and TV shows, and they're like, where can we film this? We need this.
I know exactly where that is, and they're called the Bat Caves. It's up in Franklin Village, up in near Griffith Park, and it's really cool.
That's what he was saying. Yeah, it's crazy, LA, and that's just another reason. Any youngsters out there you want to be a star, move to LA. That's all I'm saying. No,
Right.
These days you can do just as much in Omaha, not really,
well,
but almost. As long as you got an internet connection.
They're filming a lot of stuff outside of LA these days too.
Yeah,
so
cheaper.
Yeah.
Let's play the video. Here's a changing man, and check out this video, everybody. It's really good. Here it is.
In your heart there's a pain from all the things you never say, and I know it gets hard, I'm the same. It gets passed down the line, your father and mine work hard to drink, bottle up the pain. But you can't tell me, get it off your chest. No, it's not weak to be self-expressed. They were wrong when they sold you that lie. They said a strong man ain't supposed to cry. Well, I'm still here, and I'm a changing man. I do it for me, and I do it for them. Deep down a disease where you had your worries, and I know it gets hard to breathe. On your feet all alone, a battlefield is your home, but you were never meant to do this on your own. You can't tell me, get it off your chest, break down these walls, let the illusions rest. They were wrong when they sold you that lie, that you need a sword and a shield to survive. Well, I am here, and I am changing too. I do it for me, and I do it for you. You can't tell me, get it off your chest. No, it's not weak to be self-expressed. They were wrong when they sold you that lie. They said a strong man ain't supposed to cry. Well, I am here, I'm a changing
back, folks. I was a changing man. We went to the jungle. We came back. We got it together. We're up on the hill now. Made it happen. Now let me, because you're doing you are a very, I don't want to say this I don't want people to think this, I'm throwing shade. I'm not. You do a lot of this yourself. You're an indie artist. You know what I mean? There's not a big record company going, yeah, Joseph, here's a check. Go to it.
Indeed.
That doesn't work that way anymore, folks. The music industry, maybe if you're Taylor Swift, but even then, I bet you she has to submit some, this is why we need to do this. Or somebody's writing it out. As you're recording the song, you're listening to the song, it's coming out of the studio, the mastering, for the end of the process. Are you thinking about video? Do you write this stuff down and going, well, this is what I see for this, and this is, how do we make this happen?
Right. No, all I knew is after I released that song or put it out, I thought, this song really means a lot to me. I really liked the song and thought it would be a powerful message for men to express themselves, especially men who were taught at a young age or saw by example that a strong man isn't supposed to cry, is not supposed to really express their emotions. And that song opposes that. But anyway, I knew I wanted to do something. It's like the fun of the world, right? And being creative is you don't know how it's going to happen. You don't know. I was like, I got to do a video for this, but I have no idea who's going to do it. I have no idea how it's going to happen. And like you said, I'm doing this all by myself, so the budget is super limited. But the more that you show the world who you are and what you're doing, the more people will pop up to try to work with you and help you. So as an artist, I've learned don't hide your stuff. Share it with your friends, share it with whoever will listen, put it out there, post as cringe as you feel doing it, just do it, because
you never know.
That way you never know, and you will meet other people that will want to work with you and create art. And visual artists are looking for music videos for. They're looking for good music, and it's a vehicle for them too to get their art seen, because the musician is going to then share their video and is going to credit them.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's not like a calculated thing where I'm like, I got to do a video, it's going to look like this. I got together with the director and I'm like, what are we going to do? What kind of concept? And we started throwing ideas around. Before you know it, we landed on this concept where let's have two guys, the older version of him, a generation back or something, and then the newer, more healed version of him, and let's have them meet at the end face to face. So it's kind of cool, and different people take different things from it.
Absolutely. I love that, and I love giving that voice, the concept, the idea to younger men, especially.
Yeah. Yes.
Because it doesn't happen a lot, and when everybody sees, I'm an old man, and I'm part of that generation from a very young age. And even in my artistic influences, all the old abstract expressionists, very tough, very macho, they were all bleeding their hearts out on the canvas. But the thing is, and it's so funny, because like me and my wife will be watching something or whatever, and it'll get to me every so often. The problem is when you bury that stuff down, it's like when the dam cracks a little bit, then it cracks. And I'll have to get up and, she was like, where are you going? I just got to sneak in here to the washroom for a second. And I come out, my eyes are puffy and red. And she's, you don't have to leave the room, Jamie, when you get emotional. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just had to pee. I'm fine. I'm fine. And,
isn't that, wow.
And it's heavy bags to carry around, you know?
That really hurt. When you were saying that, it really did hurt my heart a little bit, just because I know what you're talking about. Like I will feel it coming up, like that I want to cry, and I'll hide. My instinct is to hide it. And I think for men in general, a lot of us have that. And
I'm guilty of it. I am guilty of it. I'll see a guy about a month ago, and I saw this guy putting all this sugar and cream and everything into his coffee. And I'm sitting there judging the guy. I'm like, my thought, well, you might as well put a dress on it. And I'm judging this guy on his coffee. And I'm going, what the hell is wrong with you, Jamie? Let the guy enjoy. Maybe, you know what?
Right.
Maybe you should add some sugar and cream in your. Maybe
Right.
it tastes better. This tastes like mud. Maybe he's onto something. I didn't do it, but I thought about it.
At least that voice came up, and you were like able to kind of
That's right.
see yourself do that. And if only more people did that, because these feelings come up for all. We're judging. Listen, it's our nature. I'm judging all day long. My brain is judging everything, everywhere. But then there is this other higher thing that comes in that goes, you're not, people could be judging you for what you're doing. Like, I don't, why
there.
You self-correct it, but it's like, we're always listening, going, I like this, I don't like that. I like this, I don't like that. So I don't think the issue is in the judging coming up. It's in how do we behave and the openness that we have.
And it's weird too, because you'll start to recognize that voice. The more you hear that voice, the more it happens, and you recognize it, and it makes you feel good. We were going to bed last night. My wife's scrolling through her TikToks. I'm laying there going to sleep like a normal person. One of the TikToks was some guy, and he had painted his table. How was he saying it? Burgundy, because that's his favorite color. He just discovered it's burgundy. And he said burgundy or burgundy about 20 times in this little thing on TikTok. And the lady was laughing. Can you believe this guy? This guy doesn't know how to say burgundy and blah, blah. And I'm like, and I told my wife, I'm like, that's mean. You shouldn't make fun of the guy because he mispronounced something. And I was judging the woman who was making fun of him. But I felt a little good. I'm like, you know what? That's something I'm not going to do. You know what I mean? And it was a good feel. I'm like, I'm better than that. I'm not going to put somebody down because they don't know. I'm in the art world. We could start going off about weirdo painter names and that everybody gets wrong. People who say
it's also like the more that we censor it or stop it or override it with others, then we stop doing it to ourselves. Because judging yourself is the worst. Because you're
you know it all this. You know it all the
Why'd you say that? That sounded so stupid. Oh, this song sucks. Oh, nobody cares. Or it's nonstop. So then at some point when you start to slow it down with everything and everyone, then you realize, oh, I'm actually being kinder to myself too. And I'm having more grace with myself. And I'm not believing this voice anymore.
Joseph, all I'm saying is I'd much rather be the guy in the hill than the guy in the jungle. I've been the guy in the jungle. Yeah. He's important. I know I don't want to be that guy anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's good.
Love it.
So the next track, Watch It Fall. Now, this is a classic Joseph Eid track. Tell us about this one.
So this song I used to live in an apartment building before this place many years ago. Not many, but it was one of those places that you move into in Hollywood and you go, little shoebox place in a kind of building, and you go, this is going to be a nice transition spot. I'll be here for a month or two and then I'll move on. And I was there for 9 years. And in those 9 years, I met the most interesting neighbors and friends and all kinds of stuff. And it was a hard time in my life at times, but it was the place that I found my sound. It was the place that I recorded my first 2 albums and became the artist that I am. So the song is called Watch It Fall, and it's about comparing where you are in your life to a building that's literally falling apart and characters in it that are very doomy and all that stuff. But it's also very hopeful in that you know that one day you're not going to be there. You just don't know how the heck is that ever going to happen. And that's what the song's about. Yeah.
Oh, it's very true. It's very true. I can think of a couple of those. I've very similar situation. It's interesting. I lived in one building and it was all studio apartments. And I became so close with my neighbors every night for dinner. And it was usually a dinner of hot dogs or something that we could all afford, fish sandwiches or something. Fine dining by any means. But we'd all figure out, where's dinner tonight? And, it's Stacy's. Okay. So we all go to Stacy's and we're all sitting around eating off paper plates. But we were together in this, you know what I mean? And the next night it might be Tim's plate. I mean, it was just, and it's interesting. I have neighbors now that I kind of know, but not really, you know what I mean? And I've lived here 10 years, I should know them better.
But when you're younger and you're single and you're this and that, it's like it becomes, yeah, because I had that with my neighbors in the building too. It's like we had this community, and that's why I ended up staying so long, because it's, man, I'm like, those 9 years went by really fast.
But then there were moments when they didn't.
Oh, yeah. And that was the moment I wrote that song. All right.
Very cool. Well, here it is, everybody. This is Watch It Fall. This is Joseph Eid. Here it is.
My neighbor down the hall knows the dirt on everyone. He's got secrets to tell. And the new guy who lives by the front door stands out there all alone. Yeah, he's got weakness to sell. And there's the actress downstairs with the dog who's dying. And he cries when she goes out. And there's a tattooed healer who's more like a dealer of things you don't want to know about. And I watch it all fall down. From the roof to the walls to the ground. I watch a dream sink low. They keep on telling me go. The old lady by the stairs, been living there for 40 years. Yes, she's got stories of fright. And she tells tales of ghosts in the halls from tenants who lived here before, and the way that they died. And then she touches my face and says, I remember the man in your place. And that's when I slowly start to back out. And I say, lady, thank you for the history, but I really gotta go. You see, there's some things I don't wanna know about. And I watch it all fall down. From the roof to the walls to the ground. I watch a dream sink low. They keep on telling me, go. Oh, but one day when I'm famous, yeah, I'll finally move out of here. After a sad 6 months, but it's been 6 years, and I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here. The composer on the first floor, he's longing for something more. There's a pain in his eyes when he walks by with his girl hand in hand. He sneaks a look my way, and I understand. See, there's a lie that he's hiding. And there's my friend upstairs from me with his theories of conspiracy, and I always seem to run into him when I've been drinking. And he says, just smoke this joint, my friend, and don't bother making any plans, 'cause this ship is sinking. I watch it all fall down. From the roof to the walls to the ground. I watch a dream sink low. They keep on telling me, go. They keep on telling me, they keep on telling me, they keep on telling me, go. They keep on telling me, go. They keep on telling me, go.
And we're back, folks. We're back. Something I wanted to mention before I forget, in the links below, we have everything, all the links to Joseph Eid. Everything Joseph Eid, we got the links to, including his phenomenal website. I love this This is how you should do a website. This is fantastic. And I'm an old man, so and all my friends are artsy, weird people. All I know are a bunch of weirdos. And they're like, what do you think of the website update? And I'm like, I couldn't hear the music. Where's the music? And they're like, well, you saw the tree, right? And there's a monkey. Did you get the banana from the other tree? And I'm like, dude, I'm old. I can't figure this out. This is like an escape room or something. And it's a website. Yours isn't like that at all. It's easy to navigate.
Yeah. I'm like you in that way. I need it to be that way.
Yeah.
And I understand we're in a day and age where people don't want to do all that either. It's like their attention spans are not.
Whoever did your website, buy him a cup of coffee next time you see him, because that is, there you go.
Yep.
The man on the hill did it.
It's easy these days. I'm on Bandzoogle and I just update it. I change it out. I do my thing. I like having control over it because that means I can update it without having to pay someone $100, $200 every time I do it. So
I'm telling you, my first website, you're going to laugh, Joseph. This is a lesson I learned. I was dating this little gal who was she's got her degree in graphic design. She made my website. And when you're an artist, when you date people, well, sometimes those end, and maybe not on the best of terms. So I wake up one morning and I look at my website and it just says, Jamie is a jerk in big flashing letters on it. And
what?
I didn't know how to change it. So I spent the next 3 months. I went down to the local community college, learned HTML and all that. And I said, I am not going to have this problem again. And
dude,
we're going to start over. And there we go. Yeah, it did. It said Jamie is a jerk. Just flashing.
I guess it could have been worse.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse. Now, the next song, this one always has a special place in my heart. It's just one of my favorites. Listening to Madonna.
Yeah.
And I'm just picturing you, I don't know, as a teen, perhaps? You know what I mean?
Early teen.
And you were probably a cool teen. You're a young college guy, probably. You were probably cool.
No. I was
Really?
very awkward. Yeah, I got cool in college, but it's only because I was pretending to be cool. But as a junior high, this song starts like when I'm in junior high, those years, and I was a very awkward kid who was introverted and just really was in my music world and all that. And listening to Madonna when you're a kid during that time wasn't really the coolest thing to do, honestly.
No, and it usually was very indicative of a certain lifestyle.
Exactly. You were like a little gay, and I was. And that was me. But I didn't know all of that then. I just knew that I loved this artist and she was amazing. And there was this kid who was just trying to just do what he liked to do. But nobody really picked up on it. And then, so later on, of course, as I got more into high school and college, I became cool. I got taller. And I started hanging out with a lot of cool guys and playing that game of just pretending to be just really well. It worked so well for years until my early to mid 20s. I was like, it's time to
shed the skin. Yeah.
Time to be you. So I definitely was not, always did not know who I always was, but this song is kind of like it's like sending a heart to that kid and telling him like, hey, you were cool because you were doing your thing the way you wanted to do it. And sure, it wasn't a cool thing to do, but it's what you loved and it's who you were. And then it goes through different decades and through life, and just that lesson or that message of follow your heart, be you. And that is what makes you cool at the end of the day. Absolutely. That is what makes you who you are and makes this life worthwhile. So listening to Madonna it's a song about Madonna, but it's really a song that anyone can relate to, about following your own singular path. And because I'm
your truth, finding it.
More folk pop artist, and I love Madonna's music, but it's not so much like this is a song about Madonna and her music. No, it's a song like she represents this. Okay, this is your path, and then I weaved it into the song So yeah, that's what you're going to hear.
And it's really awesome. It's a great song. I grew up in Metro Detroit. Every year they have the big gay bar there called Menjo's, has the Madonna-thon, and the first 100 Madonnas get in no cover. So it's just a big night of Madonnas. It was fantastic. One of the best parties. You didn't miss that party.
They're fun. It's really fun. Yeah.
Here it is, everybody. This is Listening to Madonna. Check it out.
Doing fine in 89, had my Walkman strapped on by my side with my headphones on, singing along, thinking about what's coming. While the kids were drinking and sneaking around, I was tripping on a daydream, writing things down, waking up to life, flying in my mind. Oh, I can feel it coming. Down the line. Welcome to 1999. Fresh out of school, dove in a pool of city waters, and I fell in love for the very first time. Goodbye highs and goodbye lies. First love, first song I would write, the first of many others. To wed a beautiful girl, but I was never gonna. No, I was doing fine in 99, hanging out in the clubs, dancing to Madonna, like a ray of light, and just like a ray of light, and just like a ray of light. Years flew by, I closed my eyes, it was 2009, you start to question your life. Were your choices made right? And do dreams come true? And does it matter if they do? 'Cause then a trip to your soul, a trip that is worth taking after I think I've been fine in 019. Yeah, I settled down for the very first time. I found me love sent from above. This might be the one, but there ain't no getting off this ride. If you see me in 2029, my face might have a few more lines, but I'll still be writing songs. Weekends watching MTV, taping Casey's Top 40, playing DJ, making up dances, from a sister and her friends, and they all wished I
we'll come back and we'll wrap things up. If you have any shout outs or anything, are you doing any shows coming up or anything we need to mention?
So all the shows are listed on my website. Something else I've been up to lately is I'm the frontman in a Beatles cover band as well.
Really?
So that's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's been keeping me really busy too. And it is a wonderful project. It's called Kelter Skelter. And anyone who is into the Beatles or into Celtic music will love this band. So it's mandolin, violin, accordion, drum, bass, and acoustic guitar. A lot of great harmonies, and just doing the Beatles catalog in a Celtic folk bluegrass sound. And you will love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I definitely will. One of my favorite albums of all time was by this Canadian band who since broke up. That's what happens. Called Luther Wright and the Wrongs, and they did they covered The Wall bluegrass style.
Wow.
And you would think that would not work, but instead of the school, I forget what he was in The Wall, the school professor or whatever. Now it's the school marm, and it's a woman, like a country singer type doing it. It's phenomenal. But I love the Beatles. I'm a huge Beatle fan, and Beatles have been real good to some of my first sales, big sales, were Beatles paintings. And I have nothing bad to say about the Beatles. Cool. They were phenomenal. And like Madonna, they had these very cool, striking image change-ups throughout their career. Yeah. So everybody, in my case, everybody wanted the pop art. So, of course, they want more psychedelic, the Magical Mystery Tour era with all those Day-Glo band uniforms. Jeez, what a pain. I'm like, don't you guys really want the mop top era? It's just so much easier to paint. George doesn't have a mustache now yet. It's great. I'm kidding. But yeah, the Beatles are great. That's phenomenal. And that's there in L.A. you guys play.
Yeah, it's in L.A. where we play all over. We play Orange County, the desert, all over. And our next big show is at the Scottish Festival, which is in Costa Mesa. It's in Orange County. And it's a 2-day festival. So we're booked for 2 days. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's been a nice little side project. And I've got a lot of new original music coming out too. So if people are into,
and you really have to have range to do the Beatles. If you're doing the Beatles catalog, because people don't realize that they think the Beatles was all whatever era people like. But the thing is, listen to Rocky Raccoon. That's a country song, it's done well. It's all of it. We could go through the whole catalog. It's amazing how the change-ups. But as a musician, and here's the thing that nobody will tell you folks about cover bands. If you're trying to do a cover band, you have to perform the music well because everybody knows the music and they're real familiar. And if you mess that up, it will stand out.
Right.
So, and it's got to be
done really,
well. And if you're changing genres, even more, because people are like, oh, does this stay true?
Yeah. There was someone at a gig recently, and we just all laughed at this so much. It said, "You guys are better than the Beatles."
Oh,
and
man.
I said, "Can we use that quote?" We never would, of course. But they meant in that it's when you hear those classic songs in such a fresh new way, it's very exciting for people because it's foot stomping. It's really fun. But yeah, they're very rangy, and it's definitely been a great challenge to do it and very rewarding.
To keep your muscle memory going too, just as a musician. Yeah. If you told me, oh yeah, I'm doing I'm in a Ramones cover, I'm like, they had 3 songs, you know what I mean? It's the same 3 songs. Yeah. How hard is that?
Yeah.
The Beatles, on the other hand, and they're such emotional songs that you got to bring that into the mix, you know?
And when you learn those songs, you realize, you go, oh my God, everybody I was listening to when I was growing up, I can hear the Beatles in their sound. All the pop music, the 80s and 90s and all that. And then when you learn the songs really deeply, you start to see what kind of an effect the Beatles had on the music scene.
Oh, absolutely. People my classical music friends get mad at me because I'm like, there's still acts out there. You look at the Beatles and stuff, that's, I would say, on par with Beethoven and Chopin and all those guys. Look at the effect it had, and it just changed everything. And it wasn't like the Beatles or Aerosmith. They haven't been around for 50 years. That was like, 4 years of...
That's unbelievable. They tapped into something really cool. Talk about
and at a time where everybody was wanting everything tapped into. Yeah, they stood out in that rainstorm. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, it is.
But
really
very cool. Everybody, you can get these, all these singles, all these tracks are available. They're out there. You can get these, and you can, if you want to send these to a friend, all you got to do is have their email address and send them off. Somebody's going through something, send them a Changing Man. How about that? Man? Get them through the day. Good stuff. And for you youngsters out there, again, I'm an old man. I don't know how this works or whatever. Put these in behind. I listen to a lot of TikToks through my wife. So my wife loves TikTok, but I've never heard one without music in the background. I don't know how they do it, but here's some great tracks to put behind your TikToks. Is all I'm saying. Give credit, send the check or whatever you got to do, Venmo, or I don't know how that works. I don't even use a phone, man. I'm an old man. My phone is back here, and it's got a cord to it. Got a voicemail. I text stuff. But no, people always ask me, they're like, why don't you use a phone, Jamie? Are you just really cool? I'm like, no, I'm really cheap, and I leave things laying around. I learned this with digital cameras.
Yeah.
This is back when digital cameras were $1,000 a pop. It took me 8 digital cameras to figure out I don't need to be carrying digital cameras around.
Whoa.
Yeah, and phones are no cheaper, as I understand.
Oh, no, they're like $1,000, yeah.
Yeah, no. If I were to get a phone, it'd be like one of those flip phone cricket phones or something. $50 and I could replace it.
But you'd have to like implant it on yourself.
That's right. It would be.
This way you just have it permanently.
Exactly. Yeah. I put a digital camera through the washing machine one time.
Oh, no.
People leave change in their pockets. I left a $1,000 digital camera.
Man,
I cried at that one.
That's like me with sunglasses. I've just learned that just don't buy expensive sunglasses anymore because they all have a shelf life for me. Every few months, it's gone. It's just gone. I don't know where I left. I don't know what happened. But
there's this younger gay guy I know named Scott, and he's young and he's still into sunglasses. Yeah. And he's showing me these sunglasses. We were hanging out the other day, and and they only cost me $200. I'm like, $200? No, there's a Dollar Tree over here. Go get some Elton John weird sunglasses.
And then you can get a new pair every other week if you want for $10.
Yeah, $200.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Kids got more money than sense. Anyway, thank you so much, Joseph, for taking the time to come on, class up the show a little bit. I really appreciate it. And just keep doing what you're doing, man. You're real good at it. I'm going to check you on the Beatles side of things. I've spent 4 days listening to the standard Joseph Eid fare. I think this week, we're finishing out the week. We're going Beatles, Celtic Beatles.
Yeah, Kelter Skelter. And hey, Jamie, I really enjoyed talking to you. Thanks for having me back on. It was a pleasure.
Let's not do it 10 years. Let's do it sooner than that.
I know. Let's do it sooner. I appreciate you and what you're doing.
Thank you. Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning in, whether you're listening or watching. We love you both. We just started doing the video, I don't know, about a year ago. We're still building it up, but it's coming. They're sure fun to do. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Be kind. Remember, the world's still a weird place. Just be patient with people. It'll all work out. Stay positive. We'll see you soon.
This has been pop art painter Jamie Roxx's Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. It has been executive produced by Jamie Roxx, recorded at his studio in Deerfield Beach in South Florida. All rights reserved by Pop Roxx Limited.
Hannah Oli, Pop Roxx Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Roxx Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hicks från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Roxx Radio med Jamie Roxx.
Hey everybody, pop art painter Jamie Roxx here. Thanks for taking time and interest to stop by my Patreon page. I really appreciate it. I didn't want to do one at first, but my wife explained to me that it's like a VIP room at the club. You get in there and you get perks for being in there. Then I got it. The light bulb went off. I'm an old man, folks, so you have to understand I'm doing the best I can to keep up with all this stuff. Anyway, my lovely wife, Danny, got me situated on that, squared around on it. So yeah, Patreon is pretty cool. We have different tiers we've set up. I'm going to be looking at these and giving you a quick introduction. Our first tier is Love and Support, and it's very cool. This is a $3 tier. It helps with art studio supplies and podcast equipment upgrades because, believe it or not, that happens quite a bit. Things are always changing. I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. We need to do this, we need to do that. And it's not just physical hardware, mics and cameras and things of that nature. Yes, those are super important, but also software updates and software itself. So hardware and software. And in the studio, there's just always stuff that I need. And so the Love and Support helps with all of that, and that's cool. Here's a good hardware example. I needed a little fan, a little plug-in fan. So I got one. Little bitty dude. I don't know if you can really see it. It's all plugged in, so I don't want to mess it up. But yeah, I don't know, that was $8 or whatever, $10. And it's not, oh, I need the $10. It's when you have 100 of those, it adds up. And this just helps out. And to be honest, there's a psychological aspect too. I'm working real hard to come up with new paintings, new podcasts, setting all that up. And the cool thing is this helps let me know that the people digging what I'm doing, man. And that'll get you out of bed in the morning. Let me just say that. So very cool. That's our first Love and Support Tier 1. Tier 2 is the Patron, as in patron of the arts. The Patron is $5 a month. And on this tier, you get full podcast archives. I started doing the podcast in 2013. And we were an audio-only podcast in those days. And we weren't that good at the beginning. I wasn't that good at the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing. That's the thing. But after a little while, you do anything enough times, you get the hang of it. And there was some really good memories with that. Great guests. And we still have great guests. But it was cool. I remember, man, when we hit 1,000 episodes, that was a big deal for me. Big deal. That's a lot of talking. So yeah, so we've had those. So when that company closed, I had to move everything. Now I keep copies on external hard drives and all this and that because this is a lot of work. There's a lot of work in that. We're talking years and years and a ton of podcasts. I think when we moved, we had, what did we have? 1,200, 1,300, something like that. So I had to move all those somewhere. And we decided to move them to Patreon because it's a great system. And instead of just putting these out there somewhere, it was a good place to store them and to have them, not store, but have them available to people that are interested. Yeah, so you'll get on this tier full access to all those archives. We've done right now, I just finished last week, I think we were at episode 1545. So yeah, over 1,500. It's amazing that this has been going on for so long with such interest. We added a video aspect to it. I didn't want to do video. I didn't know anything about doing video. Once again, my wife, she explained it to me and how that would be beneficial to keep the audio. But in addition, for people who want the video, there's a video version of it. There we go. Tier 3, the Card Shark. Yes, like my little theme there I came up with. The Card Shark is $10 a month. And you get all the full podcast archives, of course, and one extra podcast episode per month that's private, that isn't on YouTube. It's not anywhere but on Patreon. And this will be roughly an hour long, and I'll be talking about a different aspect of the art business and how to take your art business. A lot of people, they want to be doing what I'm doing. They're like, I want to be a full-time artist. I want to make my living through my art. I get it. Sounds good. And I encourage that. I think it's awesome. So I've been doing this for 25 years now, and have been working full-time as a full-time artist for over 25 years. I've seen a few things, and my learning curve is way different than most people starting out's learning curve, or even have been in the business for a while. I've seen it, I've done it all, and the cool thing is I don't mind doing an extra video to help maybe propel your small art business to the next level and beyond, really. It's entirely possible. You can do this. It's more possible now than ever because we're really talking about a global marketplace, not just your local First Friday deal. You're not limited. Yeah, so that's what you get with this. You get an extra art business video podcast that you can watch and get some ideas. Fourth tier, the high roller. Now this is cool because with this tier, we get your address and we send you once a month. And now as long as you're a high roller, you're on this tier, every month you're going to get something from Roxx Gear. That's my merch store, and roxxgear.us. And you'll get, it could be a shirt, prints, stickers, keychains, wallets, money clips, things like that. They're definitely cool, high-value things, and you get those, and you'll have them. I get a lot of compliments. We have a home bar, of course, and I have a professional bartender's bottle opener, and it's not just like a little thing. It's an actual, with professional bartenders using, and it's got one of my paintings on it, imprinted and sealed over and everything. It's real nice. So yeah, it could be something like that. But anyway, you get a monthly gift and you get all the lower tier perks as well. You get the extra podcast, full podcast episodes, etc. That brings us to the fifth tier, the heavy hitter. That will be me mentoring and consulting. So monthly, for an hour, I'm going to get a hold of you and we're going to set it up, and we'll do it either a video conference or by phone, whichever you prefer. I can do either at the time that's good for you and whatnot. We'll work it out. And for an hour, you get to personally pick my brain on art business stuff. I might have some ideas of projects you're working on or what you're doing. I'm going to take a look at your website or your Etsy, whatever you've got there, and I'm going to take a look at it and say, hey, and I'm not going to be a jerk about things, but I will be honest about things and say, hey, this looks good here. You might try this, tweaking this over there. Also, I have worked with numerous charities and just crazy marketing, nightclubs, all kinds of stuff. I can definitely help get your name in the paper and get more action traction going on your art business. If you're trying to pay bills with your art, you might want to amp it up a little bit, is all I'm saying. And again, not putting anybody down. We all started somewhere. I didn't have any help when I started, and I had to learn all this stuff the hard way. You'll be amazed. I kept paintings in a high-end hair salon that they were not actively trying to sell for like close to a year because I didn't know any better. Yeah, it's just crazy. Anyway, very cool. So yeah, so this is Patreon. These are the tiers. Thank you for checking it out. I really appreciate it. And my Patreon, you can always access through my website over at jamieroxx.us. JAMIEROXX.US, like United States. Very cool. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.